Hey everybody, welcome in. Happy Tuesday. Just getting my nail ready to go here and give everybody a chance to join in. Hopefully you guys are all having a wonderful day today. Hopefully the sun is shining. Sun is beautiful where I'm at today too, so hopefully you guys are all having a great day as well. Again, we'll just give everybody just a little bit more time to jump in. Anybody that is here with us, join me in the chat. Let me know who you are. Let me know that you're here. I was waiting, Top Nail. How you doing today? Glad that you're here again. Glad that you're joining us. Let's see who else is here. Fiery Mom, Nika, not Addison. Grand Bay Nails. Oh, your order's on the way. Awesome. That's exciting. You guys, I love to see you guys all getting the great tools, the great products, all of this good stuff. So I'm excited for your order to get here. I'm sure you're excited for your order to get there. So awesome. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome from Denmark and Canada, Colorado, Mississippi. Somebody had mentioned a while back that it sounds like we're on the Miss USA pageant, but yes, so you guys, welcome from wherever you're joining us from. Australia, Nigeria, my gosh, UK, you guys, awesome. Ecuador, oh my gosh, Argentina. You guys, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so excited to be with you guys again today. I know Tuesday's not normally my day that I do lives, but we had a little switcheroo today. So I'm going to be showing you another gel nail today, but I'm going to be doing a bunch of different elements that you can use on both your gel nails. You're going to be able to use some of these elements when you're doing just regular gel manicures. So I'm going to get started. Looks like a lot of people are able to join us already. So let's go ahead and get started on our nail. And I'm back to my new magic wand. So it's back to the rose gold magic wand today. Those of you guys have been joining us. Yeah, I was using the old school magic wand for the past couple of lives here, but I'm back to my rose gold magic wand. So we're just gonna push back those cuticles gently. And you guys, even when you're practicing on the trainer hands, I know it seems a little bit silly to push back really kind of these non-existent cuticles, but always still go through that step when you're practicing. It's going to help you kind of get into the routine of it when you are working on a real person so that you don't forget that step, okay? So always make sure that you're practicing everything that you would normally do on a real person. And I'm going to go into my sanding band, and this is what we're going to use to remove the shine. So this is a medium grit sanding band, and I'm going to take my finger and just kind of hold it at a slight angle, so this way I can work up in an area that's nice and comfortable. I don't hold that finger straight because, let me come out and see if you guys can see. If I hold, okay, there we go. If I hold that client's finger straight, you can see I am actually kind of what I call breaking my wrist. It's not actually breaking my wrist, but bending that wrist at something that's not very comfortable. So if I'm working straight on that nail, it's not very comfortable for my wrist, okay? So what I do is I turn that client so that she's a little bit more at an angle. There we go. And then I can actually come in kind of at that angle and keep my wrist a little bit more straight, okay? So make sure that you guys, when you're working, make sure that you're not keeping your wrists bent like this. That's a better view. Your wrist shouldn't be bent like this. You should always have your wrist kind of in that neutral, more of a straight location, okay? So turn and adjust your client so that you're comfortable. Even if you got to turn them just a little bit off to the side, that's still going to be comfortable for them. It's not a big deal, okay? Not Addison, the e-file that I'm using today is our YN, and this is our desktop. I'll show you what it actually looks like here. Let me come back out a little bit. So this is our e-file. Got a little bit of a tighter camera angle here, but it does have, so it's got the great handpiece, it's got the desktop dial here so you can actually turn. I know it's hard to see the numbers sometimes on camera, but you can turn that dial, and that's going to adjust your RPMs. This one goes all the way up to 30,000 RPMs. You're never going to use it at that high. The highest that I ever use my e-file is right around 15, okay? So the reason that it does go up to 30,000 RPMs is because it gives you kind of that leeway, okay? If we were to, I always like to talk about e-files kind of in relation to cars, because people know, you know how to drive. Most of us do anyways. But with your e-file, thinking about it as a car, if you were to drive your car, say your car goes up to, I don't know, 200 miles an hour. I don't know how fast your car can go possibly, but if you were to drive your car at the highest speed all the time, what's going to happen is your car's going to wear out. That engine's going to wear out, and it's going to wear out a lot faster. But if you're only driving at about 15,000 RPMs, or, say 55, 60 miles an hour on your car, your engine, your motor is going to last you a lot longer because it's not always pushing at its, whoops, wrong way, there we go. It's not always pushing at its highest potential, okay? So it does give you that leeway that your machine is not always going to be pushing at its highest potential, okay? So usually around 15,000 RPMs if I'm working on acrylic. Usually on gels, I go about 13 to 14,000 as my very max, okay? So when you're working with the e-file, you guys, I love our e-file. It's got the on-off switch here, so you can turn that on or off. Now my bit is spinning. You can see that that little dial right there. That's showing that our e-file is on. If I turn it off, those little dials go away. It does have a forward and reverse. So right now it's in forward. I'm a right-handed nail tech, so I use my right hand and I use it in forward. If I was a left-handed nail tech, or I was doing my own nails and using my left hand, I would flip that over into reverse, okay? So you do have those options for it, and it makes it a really great tool for you, okay? And Carrie Ann is agreeing. The e-file, the YN e-file is amazing. You guys, it really truly is. And if you take care of it and maintain it, keep everything clean, it's going to keep lasting you guys for a long, long time. I know there are cheaper versions of electric files out there on the market, but again, just like a car, you can buy a cheap car that's maybe not the highest quality. It's not going to last you as long. Same thing with your e-file. If you buy something, invest in a good e-file where that it's going to last you a long time rather than having to buy a new one every couple of years. In the long run, it's going to save you money by investing in a good machine, okay? All right, let's get back to our prep. So we push back our cuticles. I'm going to come in here a little bit. And again, for my prep, I switched back to forward, again, because I'm working with my right hand. I'm going to turn my speed up to about 5,000 RPMs. When I'm prepping, I don't need to use a lot of speed. Just very light. I'm making contact with that nail, coming up around my cuticle area, and then gently kind of feathering through the rest of the surface of the nail to just lightly remove the shine, give that nail just a little bit of texture, and kind of break up those surface oils that are on that nail. Making sure I've got all of that surface covered, and we are good to go. Okay, that's all you guys need to do for your prep and removing shine. You don't have to overthink this. Don't try to keep filing over and over. I know sometimes we think that, oh, well, maybe I didn't quite get it good enough. Maybe I need to go through it again. Nope, once is enough. Once it looks chalky like that, you don't need to go over it again, okay? All right, we're just gonna dust that nail off, get all of that dust cleaned off of that nail, and then we're gonna cleanse our nail with our swipe. Swipe is our cleanser. Let me come out a little bit here. So swipe is our cleanser. We're gonna pump just a little bit of that up onto my manicure brush here, and we're gonna scrub that nail. So what swipe is gonna do is it's going to, again, help to remove the surface oils from that natural nail. It's gonna help to remove any dust, any particles from the nail, and it's also gonna help to get rid of any germs or bacteria that's on the nail. You wanna make sure that you're really getting this nail nice and clean before you try to apply any product so that you don't get any bacterial infections or what we like to call greenies on that nail. So really making sure that nail is nice and clean and prepped. Okay. Next thing we're going to use is our protein bond. Protein bond is our bonder. Kind of works like a double-sided tape. So it's going to stick down to that natural nail, but then it's going to leave a tacky surface. Come in a little bit here. So it's not like a primer where when you put it on after a while it's going to dry. Most of the time primers are going to dry back to that kind of that chalky look. Our protein bond is actually going to stay sticky looking, okay? So it's going to keep looking like this. It's not going to dry back to that chalky look, okay? The reason for that is it's actually leaving that tacky layer so that it can grab onto your product that you adhere to. Like I said, it's kind of like a double-sided tape where it sticks down to that natural nail, but then it sticks to whatever you put on top of it. When we're working on our enhancements, either acrylic or hard gel, I always do 2 coats of my protein bond, and then with just a regular gel manicure, I usually just do 1, okay? With the enhancements, we feel like 2 coats is gonna give you the best adhesion, okay? All right, next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take one of our forms and we're gonna put our form onto the nail. Preppy Swifty 13, second time here and you're loving it. Welcome. I'm glad that you came back. Thank you so much for joining us again. You guys, all of you that are with us today, thank you for joining us. If you're new to our channel, we love that you joined us today. We are so excited that you're here. Make sure that you do hit that subscribe button so that you can come back and join us again. Okay, so I just took my form, I pinched together my 2 little silver tabs on the base there, put that little tab on the back, give it a little bit more durability, and then I'm gonna just kind of give it a little press, kind of loosen up that C-curve just a little bit more, and then we're gonna come right up underneath that nail. So I kind of start, you can see I start at a little bit of an angle, and then I just lift up on the base of that form, okay? So again, starting from here, and just kind of lifting up, until that form comes straight out from that natural nail. Okay, and let me turn it straight so that I can see here. Okay, again, lift up, and then I'm going to secure it down on the sides, and then we'll pinch a little bit tighter. So pinch all the way to the end if you're going to be doing either an almond shape, coffin shape, stiletto shape. If you're doing just a regular straight square, you can kind of leave that end open, but we're going to do, I don't know what we're going to do today. I'm going to kind of wing it today, I think. No, I'm not going to wing it, you guys. I know what I'm doing today. But maybe we'll wing the shape. We'll see about it. We'll see what helps, or see what happens today. All right, let's grab our clear sculptor. Now you guys know, if you've been watching my live demos here, you know that I always like to work with the clear sculptor to create my extension, okay? So what I'm going to do is come in a little closer here, and I'm going to start with a little bit of that clear sculptor right on my free edge, drop that right in front of that natural nail. Okay, I'm going to come right up to that natural nail, connecting the product to the nail, and then down all the way, kind of swing all the way around to that other side, connecting that product to the nail. And then I'm just going to start to kind of feather that product down. I'm not using a lot of pressure. It's not like acrylic. You're not going to do any of that pressing and smoothing. With gel, you're going to do more floating, okay? So I'm just kind of keeping contact with the product, and then just gently moving it, kind of pulling that little string. You kind of see that little string, just kind of pulling that string, okay? I think we're good there. And then, oops, let me grab my brush. You guys, today I grabbed my Pro Gel Sculptor, and this actually comes in 2 pieces. So you can pop those 2 pieces apart, put them back together again, so your brush actually has a cover to it and a handle for you, okay? I'm also gonna grab my little tile here. I like to have that so I can keep my brush clean, keep any old product, get that out of my brush, and just kind of use that to kind of resituate my brush sometimes if I need to, okay? I'm just going to use the edge of my brush and draw that product all the way up into that sidewall, making sure that my side here is nice and straight. If you need to, you can kind of turn it on the side. When I am working on my practice hands, I do try to kind of hold on to that form just to make sure that it stays adhered. Sometimes on your trainer hands, forms don't always stay as perfect as we would like them. They're going to stick much better to a natural finger, just because of the texture and that. So hang on to that form if you need to while you're pulling that product straight up those sidewalls, okay? By doing this, you're going to get a little bit better shaping. It's going to save you a little bit of time when you're doing your filing. So that's why I always like to kind of perfect my shape a little bit more from this point, and then I have less work to do when I'm filing, okay? If I need to, I can also kind of keep adjusting, pulling that product into a little bit better of a shape. I guess we're going to do a stiletto today. That's kind of how it turned out for me. And that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna come back around here. We're gonna get this into the light very carefully. Sally, don't bump the sides. We're gonna get that into the light and we're gonna freeze that into place for about 30 seconds, okay? What that's gonna do is it's gonna just set that product into place so that we can go on to our next step. And our next step is gonna be our base gel. So base gel is, open this up here, you guys can see, base gel is a very thin gel. So if I turn this on the side, you can see how fast that moves, how fast it runs. It's very, very thin. And this is one of the few gels that we actually do apply very thin. We're not going to try to build any structure with this. We're just going to create a base layer, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of drag my brush through there, lift up, tap off that little string, and then we're just going to brush this through. Now, base gel is your foundation. This is what's going to give you the best adhesion. So if you do accidentally skip this step, or maybe you haven't been using base, you're not going to get the best adhesion without it. So make sure that you never skip using base. Even if you're doing just a quick fill, I still would recommend using the base because, again, this is what's going to have the best adhesion, okay? And let's see, Emily, I've actually been doing nails almost 25 years now, so add 10 to that 15. So it's been a little while. I've been doing nails for a good amount of time. Next thing I'm going to do is I just grabbed just a tiny little bit more of gel, and I'm just going to kind of drop that right down at that seam. So right where that natural nail connects to my free edge. Oops, don't drop your brush. Okay, but the reason that I do this is just to ensure that my natural nail connects to that free edge, and when I take my form off, it doesn't crack. And I just kind of make sure that there's no gaps in between there or anything like that. Okay, so we're gonna go back into our light, pop that in there, and again, that's gonna go in for another another 30 seconds. Okay, again, just to freeze that into place. All right. Okay, you guys. So the techniques I'm going to show you an ombre, and I'm going to be using Manicure. What do we got here? Manicure Yellow Neon 101 and Pink Lemonade 101. And you guys, these are both the same product. I just have new packaging on one of them and our older packaging on the other. Okay, same product. This is our gel polish. It is a soft gel. We're working with a hard gel enhancement, and we're doing our ombre with a soft gel in the nail. It's going to mix just fine, not to worry, okay? Now, this is where, remember when I just said I put a little bit of product right there at that seam? So when I take off my form, because I reinforced that seam, my free edge isn't going to crack off when I take my form off here, okay? So that's why I like to really make sure that I reinforce that seam. Okay, so we're gonna do an ombre. Now you guys, we're ombreing this in our nail. We're gonna encapsulate this. We're gonna do a few other elements with this, but this you can also do on top of the nail. So if you were maybe wanting to change out your design a little bit quicker, you could do this ombre on top of the nail. You could also do this ombre with your gel manicures, okay? So what I'm gonna do, I'm grabbing a couple other things here. Again, I've got my little tile here to kind of clean my brush out. I've got a couple of table towel wipes that I've cut into little squares here just in case I need those as well. So we're going to start with our yellow neon, and we are going to just polish this on. Let me come in a little closer here for you. And I'm going to start, we're going to kind of do kind of a sunset kind of a look. You guys, I don't know, there's kind of been this trend about sunsets and sunset makeup and all that kind of stuff. So I've kind of been into that this recently. So we're going to do kind of a sunset kind of a look today. Kind of a fiery almost kind of a look. Okay, so I did about halfway of that nail. I'm going to grab my ombre brush, and this is actually from one of our older brush collections. We do have a different brush collection now, which still has an awesome ombre brush in it, so make sure to check that out. But this brush, it actually is, it's almost like it's not really, but it is, I guess it's kind of cut. So if you look at it, the tip of the bristles are a little bit finer. Let's see. There we go. Now you can see. They're kind of cut in between, okay? So hang on, let me see if I can get you this better view. There we go. Okay, so the tip of the brush is a lot finer than the base. There's a lot more bristles down in the base here. So you can kind of see as it fans out a little bit, this brush is going to give you a really great ombre because it's going to kind of help to blend, okay? So ombre brushes are amazing. What I'm going to start with is just starting to kind of blend that yellow down a little bit. So you can see it's just starting to pull a little bit of that. And it's not trying to pull it in a solid line. It's just kind of starting to get it to feather out and blend out. Okay, I'm going to go in while this is still wet, I'm going to go into my pink lemonade. And you guys, I love this color. For summer, it is so pretty, so pretty. I'm going to start by brushing another coat of this up into that color that we just feathered out. Now this is where I have my little ceramic tile down here. If I did touch this brush to that yellow, I'm going to just give it a quick wipe out just to make sure that that yellow doesn't contaminate my color and it doesn't go back into my bottle like that. So keep your little tile here, or you can use the table towels to wipe out your brush just to make sure that you keep everything clean and you're not contaminating your bottles of product. Okay. All right, same thing. I'm going to again use my ombre brush and just start to feather that back. Now I find that working this way is going to actually help you get a much better blend. I'm going to work across the nail now too, but by starting this and starting to kind of blend that product together this way, I feel like it actually helps me get a little bit of a better blend. Okay, I'm going to clean out my brush. And then, let me turn this on the side. I'm going to start to work from side to side. And let's start kind of down into that pink lemonade. And I'm just kind of feathering my brush back and forth. I'll slow it down so you can kind of see a little bit better. Feathering that product back and forth. So I started down into the pink lemonade. And I'm going to work up into that yellow neon. Okay, my brush is going to pick up a little bit of that yellow neon. We're going to bring that back down into the pink lemonade. So see how it's already starting to ombre, it's starting to blend together really pretty. Just gonna kind of touch up my sides here a little bit. I'm gonna clean out my brush, get a little bit of that product out of there, and then just kind of touch up my sides. Now you guys, this is not gonna be a perfect ombre on the first go around, and that's okay. We're gonna do a second coat, and with our second coat, that's where you're really gonna get that great ombre blend. But you can see it's starting to come together, okay? Again, don't worry if it's not perfect. Do the best you can at this point. Get everything to blend as well as you can, and then get it into the light. Okay, so you can see it's starting to blend. Not perfect, but that's okay. Okay, we're going to get this into the light. We're going to freeze this into place for another 30 seconds. And hello and happy birthday to Avery today. Nan, this is, the yellow was Yellow Neon 101, and then also the other color, the pink, or the kind of peachy, corally kind of color was Pink Lemonade 101. Ooh, Insomni Owl, Tequila Sunrise. Yes, you know what? I love it. It does kind of look like a tequila sunrise. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so again, we just popped that in there for a quick 30-second freeze. Let's come back in so you guys can see, again, it wasn't a perfect blend, but now with our second coat, it's definitely going to start to blend a little bit more. Now, if you need to do a third coat, you can always do a third coat. Most colors are going to come together in two, It really does kind of depend though what colors you're blending. So kind of keep in mind as you're blending, colors that are close to each other on the color wheel are going to ombre much easier than colors that are opposite, okay? So yellows and oranges come together really easily because they are close on the color wheel. Blues and greens come together, blues and purples, reds and blues, you know, so kind of keep in mind your color wheel as you are doing your ombre colors. But just because they're not close doesn't mean that you can't do it, okay? There's just some colors that are going to be easier to blend than others. Okay, so again, I just did my vertical blend, and now we're going to do our horizontal blend and get those colors to blend. Again, you guys, you can do this technique with your gel polishes on top of a finished enhancement. You can do this as a gel manicure. You don't have to encapsulate this into your hard gel or your acrylic even, but you can, okay? Again, just going across the nail and up and down to really get those colors to blend well together. Okay, let's clean out our brush. I'm gonna just kind of touch up my sides a little bit. And you guys, as you're doing your ombres, if you do accidentally brush off the nail and onto the skin, again, make sure, grab an orange wood stick or something to clean off. It's got a little fuzz on there. To make sure that you do clean off any product that does get on the skin. You want to make sure that you don't cure that on the skin, okay? All right, I think we're about good here. And with this technique, you guys, if I were to just leave, if I just wanted to leave just my colors for my design, I would really spend a little bit more time really making sure that this is a perfect blend. But we're gonna be adding a glitter press on top of this. So I'm not gonna worry too much because that glitter is gonna also help to get these to ombre a little bit more. Kylie is asking, can we have a side view? You guys, this is a very thin, almost just a shell of a nail right now, okay? We don't have any structure to this nail. We don't have any, we don't really have an arch. All we have is just a very thin layer of that base gel and our extension and then our gel polish, okay? So don't worry at this point. We are gonna build up the structure. I'm just gonna get this back into the light for another 30-second freeze. But yes, you guys, when you're doing dimensional nails, all you're gonna be doing with your color is creating your design. You're gonna build up the rest of the nail with the, back to either a clear Sculptor, or today I'm probably gonna use our Build Pink, okay? So we'll get to that in just a little bit. But the next step we're gonna do is our glitter ombre, okay? So we're gonna ombre on top of our ombre with our glitters. And the colors that I'm using today are Sunset Beach and Lava, okay? Again, you guys, you see the smaller containers. Our glitters now come in larger containers, but I still have some old school ones here because you guys, glitters last forever. A little bit of glitter goes a long way. So when you buy the new 1 ounce jars, they're gonna last you forever, okay? All right, I'm gonna grab just a makeup brush, you guys. It's not anything fancy. Again, this one's been kind of used and abused a little bit, but it's just kind of an eyeshadow brush. And the one I have has like a little wedge on the other end, which I really like because that'll help to kind of clean out a little bit of that glitter from the sidewalls if I need to. But just a cheapy little makeup brush. You guys, you don't have to spend a ton of money on a brush for your ombres, okay? So again, we've got our Sunset Beach and we've got Lava. I'm gonna open this up. And again, this is something that you can do on top of a nail, on a gel manicure as well. I'm gonna just grab a little bit of my glitter. Now watch as I do my glitter. So how I go from my glitter to my nail, I will touch my glitter, I'll touch my nail, touch my glitter, touch my nail, okay? The reason that I don't just keep dabbing at that nail is because this nail has a little bit of a tacky surface. That's what's gonna grab onto our glitter. If I were to just keep tapping this, my brush is gonna it's gonna kind of pick up some of that stickiness, and I don't want to gum up my brush. So that's why I wanna make sure I'm going from my glitter to my nail, to my glitter, to my nail, glitter, nail, glitter, nail. Okay, so back and forth and back and forth. I'm just gonna kind of dust out my brush here. We'll come in with our Lava. Same thing, I'm going to get glitter to my nail, glitter to my nail. Now notice on my yellow part, I started at the cuticle and worked forward. Now I'm starting at the free edge and working back. This way my colors are going to blend right in the middle, okay? So tapping, tapping, and I think I want just a little bit more of that yellow. So I'm going to pick up just a little bit more. Now at this point, most of the nail is covered in glitter, so I don't have to worry about it gumming up my brush anymore. So I'm just going to kind of tap right through where those colors are blended, just to make sure that I've got a good even blend. Okay, if I do need to add any more of that lava, I can add lava. I can add a little bit more of my Sunset Beach. Now at this point, what I'm going to do, I'm going to set my glitters aside. I'm going to clean out my brush, and I'm going to just kind of blend all the way through. And what this is doing is it's actually going to clean off any of that extra glitter that's not adhered. It's also going to kind of press down that glitter a little bit more so that it's more set down into that tacky surface. And then I like to come through, if you don't have a brush that's got a little wedge on it, you can always use an orange wood stick just to kind of come through, clean out any product that is down along those sidewalls and down along the edges. So that way when you go to encase these, you're not going to have issues with it on the sides. Okay? All right. So that is our ombre. Let me close up my glitters before we continue. Otherwise I tend to spill things. Now, remember that base gel that we used underneath here? I'm going to go back to my base and we're going to seal this in, but we're going to add another element. Okay, now you guys, every time we add an element, what do we add? Let me know in the chat. What do you think we add every time we add an element here? I'm going to wait to see what your answers are, but I'm also going to show you what our next element is. Okay. Does anybody know? Anybody know what we add when we add an element? Anybody? Base, base. Kathy, you had the first right answer that I saw. You guys, every time you add an element, you add a cost, okay? So anytime I added 2 extra colors into this nail, I'm gonna add an upcharge. I did an ombre with these colors, that's an upcharge. I added 2 glitters, that's an upcharge. Now our next element is gonna be, let me see if I can I zoom out anymore? I guess I gotta hold this, hang on a second. Okay, can you guys hear me now? No audio. What, am I back? Can you guys hear me now? Let me know. Can't hear you, can't hear. Yes, am I back? Back, we're back. Oh, you guys, I'm so sorry. I must have hit that mute button. Oh, I hope you didn't miss all of the good information that I told you about, all of the secrets of everything that Youngnails is coming out with. No, I'm just kidding, you guys. I didn't tell you anything about that. But I do apologize. I must have hit that mute button. I am sorry. So what I've got here, let me kind of go back a little bit. I've got our fruit cocktail charm kit. And again, you guys, everything that I'm using today is on our website. So anything that you see here that you like, anything that you want to try out, it's all available at youngnails.com. So make sure to head over there. But I was saying before that Anytime you add an element to your nails, you must add a cost to it because you guys have to keep all of these products in stock. And if you're not charging extra for it, you're not going to be making any money, okay? And you guys, I'm looking out for your best interest. I promise you, I want you to be successful doing nails. And if you're not charging, first of all, you're going to get frustrated because you're spending a lot of time doing all of these great techniques and creating beautiful nails. But if you're not getting paid for it, it's not going to be worth your time, okay? You guys, sorry, just a second. I got a little gel on my brush here, so let me go just clean this off real quick. You guys see that little bit of gel that's on there? I don't want to ignore that. I want to make sure that I get this cleaned off so before I go and touch it. And I actually got a little bit on my skin there because I didn't realize there was a little bit gel on there, okay? So make sure if you do accidentally get product on your skin, clean it off right away so that you're not overexposing yourself to product, okay? Very important. If you're gonna keep doing nails for a long, long time, you wanna make sure to avoid contact with product, okay? All right, so I'm gonna pull out a few of, I'm just gonna grab, I think these are gonna be a really pretty addition to our design today. So I'm just gonna grab a few of those. I don't know how many we'll use. And you guys, the kit does come with a great little tweezer. I use my natural tweezer on my nails here. So I'm just gonna pull out a few of those. And a lot of times I also like to use, where did I lose it here? I like to use the little rhinestone picker-upper. If you guys were with me yesterday on our live, I used some of our rhinestones. This is the rhinestone picker-upper that comes in our rhinestone kit. Works really good when you're working with these little charms too, okay? So that's what I'm using there. We're gonna go in with another coat of our base gel. Again, that same base gel that I used for originally on the base here. So I'm just going to brush in a little bit of a thin layer of this, not too thick, but just enough where I can place my little heart or my flowers down into this nail. Okay, so just kind of spreading that onto the nail. We'll pick up a couple of our little charms here, and I'm going to kind of press those down into that gel, really making sure that that gel is holding on to those little charms. What do you think? Maybe one more? Maybe one more? Yeah, maybe one more little one right down there. Oh, that's cute. I like that. Maybe bring this one up just a little bit. Okay, there you guys. What do you guys think? You like that? I think I like how those are. Yeah, I think that'll be kind of fun. Okay, so this is going to go back into our light again for another 30-second freeze. And you guys, I always feel like, you know, people think that when you're working on designs like this and you're going in and out of the light, it seems like it's a lot of back and forth and you got one hand in there. Make sure that you're always working on the other hand. So when one hand is in the light, you're always going to be working on that other hand, and then you're going to just rotate back and forth. So there's always a hand in the light and you're always working on a hand. So you're never just going to be sitting there with downtime, okay? You're always going to be in motion. You're always going to be rotating through. All right, so we've got that element added to our nail. Now, okay, I think we're done with the majority of our elements. We may decide to add something a little bit later. You never know. But at this point, I am going to cap this whole nail. So if we take a look at it again from that side view, we still don't have a lot of structure. We definitely don't have enough structure to support this nail. So now we have to build up structure and build up the rest of the enhancement, okay? I'm gonna go in with my Build Pink. And you could use that clear sculptor that we started with as well. That's totally up to you. When I'm working on a lot of my dimensional nails, I like to use the Build Pink, especially if it's any kind of a red tone, pink tone, anything like that, because this is just going to give that nail a little bit more brightness. It's going to really just pop out the colors a little bit more so that it just gives it a little more oomph. Okay, I'm going to squeeze out just a little bit of that product right up by my cuticle. I'm going to kind of push that up to my cuticle, and then I'm going to work kind of in a circular motion, and I'm going to work down the left side, come back to the center, to the right side, I'm going to squeeze out a little bit more. I see a tiny little bubble in there. I want to make sure that I get that bubble popped before I cure that, because I don't want a bubble in my nail. I'm going to squeeze out a little bit more, and you guys notice how I'm actually keeping this keeping the nail angled downward because I'm using the Build gel. Build is a little bit of a thinner gel compared to our clear Sculptor. So I want to make sure that that finger is angled downward so that my product runs down the length of my nail rather than down into my sidewalls, okay? I'm just going to come again, squeeze out a little bit of that product in the center and then come down the sides, just kind of working that product down the length of my nail. And again, you guys, don't worry if your application isn't perfect. As long as you have product where you need product, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to file. We're going to use that electric file that I showed you at the beginning of our demo today. We're going to use that tool to help us perfect our nails, okay? I know there's a lot of people out there that say you have to get your application perfect, and I tend to disagree with that. You can, as long as you have your product where you need it, you don't have product on the skin, you have a clean application, you can do a lot of your perfecting with your file, okay? And I feel like it's going to save you a lot of time if you use that file and you know how to file, rather than trying to spend so much time making everything perfect. Now, with that said, I am going through with my brush, making sure that I have product right at my cuticle area, down along my sides, making sure that my product isn't running or moving anywhere that I don't want it. And then I'm going to pop this back into the light, and I'm just going to freeze this into place for about, I would say, anywhere from 10 to 30 seconds, okay? What that's going to do is it's actually going to stop the product from moving, but it's going to give me a chance to check the nail. So I'm going to check this nail and see, do I need any more product anywhere? Okay, if I look at it from the side view, you guys can see it's got a good, good amount of thickness at my cuticle. It's not overly thick, but it's got enough product. It comes up to a nice arch right here, and I've got a couple of little low areas that kind of just are a little wonky right through here. So I'm actually going to build up a little bit more product right through here. Deal 1590.49. I didn't pop the bubble. Is it still there? I don't see it. But if you see it, sorry. I thought I did pop them. Maybe it's the glitter that you're seeing. But you guys definitely make sure if you do see bubbles, try to pop those before you do cure, okay? All right, so I'm just squeezing a little bit more of that Build Pink right down that arch area, and I'm just going to kind of blend that out so I have a nice even application, and I'm putting enough product anywhere that I need it. I think I still need just a little bit more right over here. So I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bit more. And especially when you're working with these charms, you want to make sure that you do have them encapsulated well so that you don't end up filing them off. Now, if I take a look from this side, I can see I still have a little bit of a dip. So you guys, it's always important to check your nails from all different angles to make sure that everything is where you need it to be. Okay, I think we are good there. I'm going to get this back into that nail. Sorry guys, back into the light. And this time we're going to cure this for a full 60 seconds. Okay. Somebody's saying there's no audio. Did I lose audio again? You guys let me know in the chat. If you can hear me, let me know in the chat. Audio is good. Okay. Audio is good. All right. Hopefully whoever that was, hopefully you'll get audio back. You guys, if you ever do have challenges during any of our live streams, definitely start by refreshing your feed. That always tends to help a lot of the issues. Okay, I'm just gonna quick clean off my little tile here, and I'm just using a little bit of polish remover. And you guys, these clean up really quick and easy, so they're a great tool to have. Okay, you guys, you're good with sound. Okay, wonderful, thank you. You guys, we always appreciate your feedback. We always appreciate your comments in the chat. We always appreciate you guys when you subscribe, and that way you can join us again. We love to see all of these return names, and I like to say faces, but unfortunately I can't see faces. But I do love that you guys, so many of you return to our videos and our demos every day. So welcome back, thank you. All right, so I'm just going to take away my table towels. I've got my dust collector into my table here. And before we start filing, when your gel does cure, it has a slight tack to it. So I'm going to take back to my swipe, and I'm going to use one of our lint-free wipes, and we're going to just cleanse that nail. Okay, we're going to cleanse that nail, get that tacky surface removed. Joan Thompson, that nail, it looks beautiful. We haven't even filed, you guys. I know, it's going to be a fun summery nail, but it's going to look even better once we do our filing and finishing here. Okay, I'm going to turn on my dust collector. Ashley, am I free to subscribe? You guys, yes, it is free to subscribe. We will never ask you for money or payment or anything. We do these classes, we do these demos for you guys so that you can learn how to do nails, how to use our products properly. So make sure that you do file, or that you file. Make sure you file too, but make sure you do subscribe. Everything is free. We just love that you guys are here. And Elizabeth Garcia, I'm in serious need of affiliate. Yes, I know, you guys. It's been a busy couple of weeks. Don't look too close at my nail. But you guys, look at how amazing our product holds on. It's been, I think I might be even going on 4 weeks here, you guys, and my nails are, they're definitely grown out, but they're holding on. So that's a good testament to our product. And I am not easy on my nails at all. So, all right, so I switched, let me show you this, guys. I switched to my X-Cut carbide. Clean a little dust off of that. So this is what I'm going to use to take down the bulk of my product. And damn Tam, we're not at the top coat stage just yet. Hold on a second, okay? We're still at the filing, and we're going to be using our X-Cut carbide here to basically take down the bulk of the product. I've got my speed at 14,000 RPMs. Let me readjust here a little bit, you guys. There we go. Let's see, Blue Star, I think that's what your name. The dust collector does not come in black. It just comes in the white, okay? So I'm going to just straighten up my sidewalls here. There we go. So I just hold down on my left side, and I'm going to push up on my right side. Okay? Just straightening out those sidewalls. Get everything nice and even. I'm going to turn and I'm going to look from my lower arch. So my lower arch is right down through here. That's the lower part of the arch. So I'm just going to come in, and because we did kind of clean that up with our brush before we actually cured that free edge, I don't have a lot of filing to do, but I'm just going to kind of perfect that a little bit with that E-file there. Okay, I'm going to turn that client's hand on the other side, and same thing, I'm just going to clean up that lower arch so that your lower arch is coming straight out from that natural nail. So if I turn this on the side, you guys see how straight out that's coming? Let me grab a file here. Actually, let me grab my magic wand. So you want that nail to be coming straight out from, let me bring that all the way back here. Okay, so straight out from that whole finger, straight out from that sidewall. Now it's still hanging just a little bit lower, but I'm going to clean up that and perfect that with my hand file because I can't quite get all the way back in there with my E-file here. But if you do have a lot of product hanging down, using that E-file bit to clean that up is going to be a big time saver for you. Okay? And again, I always say the majority of your filing, if you can do that with your electric file, it's going to make life much easier. Okay? And DIY Nails by Heidi, the magic wand, is this amazing tool right here. It's a cuticle pusher and a little pincher tool all in one. So it really is a magic wand tool. Okay? All right, let's come back in. We're going to come up around the cuticle area, and I'm going to thin that out and taper that a little bit. I don't have a lot of work to do because I didn't apply a whole lot of product back there. But then we're just going to work right down the arch of the nail. And I am looking, you guys, I'm looking from this exact view that you're seeing right here. I'm looking from the side of the nail so that I can see the arch. I can, as I'm filing, I can see what my arch is going to look like once I finish. And this is how I want to make sure that I'm looking at the nail. As I'm working on the arch, I don't want to be looking at it flat like this because I can't see how thick it is here. I can't see how thick it is here or here. When I'm looking from that side view, now I can see the thickness. I can see that arch, okay? So I'm going to be working from this view, filing in that arch. all the way down to that point, okay? Now I want you guys to notice something. Do you see I'm not just keeping my bit flat all the way through? I'm using the bit and I'm moving the bit so I'm contouring as I go. So when I'm working here, my bit is at a slight downward angle to the cuticle area. Here in the center, it's a little bit more flat, but then when I get down here into that free edge, it's at an upward angle. How you're holding your bit is how you're going to be filing, and it's how you're going to contour that arch. Okay, so kind of keep that in mind as you're working. The direction that your bit is angling, that's how you are going to be filing. Okay. All right, so now we're going to look straight down the barrel. Because I've kind of taken down product right through my arch here, I don't need much more filing right through here. Where I do need it is on the sides here and here. So now I'm going to look straight down the barrel, and I'm just going to basically pull my bit towards myself to take down the bulk on those sides. Okay. Again, I don't have a lot of filing right through here, so we're going to kind of skip that area, come back over to the right side, and again, just pulling towards myself. Now you guys, I'm really letting this bit do the work. I'm not using a lot of pressure. If I do use a lot of pressure, it tends to kind of grip into the nail. So make sure that you are just making contact with your bit and pulling forward, okay? All right, I think we are about good with our filing at this point. I'm going to switch over to another bit. So I'm going to take out my carbide bit. I'm going to come back to that first bit that we used, that the sanding band. Sorry, you guys, I forgot what it was called for a second. So we're going to switch back to that sanding band, and we're going to refine this nail a little bit more. I'm going to turn my speed back down to about 7,000 RPMs, and I'm going to just come right up around that cuticle, and that's going to help taper and really make that product flush down to that natural nail so I don't have a ledge right at that back. Let's see, I think somebody was asking what speed I'm working at. When I was using my X cut, I was working at about 14,000 RPMs. Now with my sanding band, I'm back down to about 7,000. Okay, and just same thing, following through those same motions that I went through before. So down that arch of the nail, and then I will again pull forward towards myself again, just to kind of refine a little bit more, and it's just a little bit less filing I'm going to have to do with my hand file. Okay, let's see, I may be able to get up just a little bit closer with my sanding band. I've got just a little bit of product hanging down here. You guys can see that little bit. I'm going to have to get that with my hand file because I can't quite get it up in there with my e-file here. Okay, same thing on that other side. We'll perfect those with that hand file. All right, so we're on the home stretch. Not ready for top coat just yet. I know you guys are excited, but we do have some final perfecting to do. So we're going to start on our sidewalls, and I'm going to keep my file straight up and down like this. Again, all you guys can see is that blue line. That's exactly what I'm seeing as I'm filing. So filing straight along that edge, and then kind of coming into that free edge, making sure my little stiletto is nice and crisp on the sides. Okay, do you notice how I'm putting my thumb on the other side here? That's going to help my nail stay nice and stable so it's not wobbling back and forth as I'm filing. I used to, before I kind of learned that technique, I would file here, but I would never get an actual straight edge. It always seemed a little bit off. When you're able to position your thumb here on the other side, that's going to help you get those really straight, crisp, sharp edges, okay? Same thing on the other side. I use my fingers to balance on the other side, and I'll clean up that left side nice and straight into my free edge. So you can see that nail's not wobbling back and forth, okay? All right, we're going to turn that finger on the side, and this is where I'm going to catch any last little bits of that lower arch that are not coming out perfectly straight, and we're going to clean that up. Okay, I think we're good there. And again, you guys, because I was able to clean that edge up with my brush before I even cured that product, and I was able to use my electric file to really kind of refine that before I did my hand filing. It's much less work for me now with my hand file, okay? All right, we're good there. I'm gonna come up around that cuticle area. Let me kind of back up just a little bit here so you can see a little bit more of my file motions. I'm actually holding my file between my two fingers and just kind of balancing with my thumb and then maybe my fingers underneath here. But just lightly coming up around that cuticle area and then back down around those edges. What I'm trying to do here is really contour and kind of round out my edges. Do you see how I'm kind of using a rounded motion rather than just flat? What I'm trying to do is contour those edges so everything goes in a nice curved shape all the way through that whole structure of the nail. So I'm kind of up and over, okay? Same thing on our other side, kind of taper in that cuticle area and then back down, contouring those edges. All right, now I think we are about good there. I'm gonna take kind of a quick check from the side. I'm gonna thin out and taper out that free edge just a little bit. So what I'm doing, I'm gonna turn this so you guys can really see. I'm putting the weight of my file right here at the tip, right at the free edge of the nail, and I'm putting my pressure there so I'm not filing. Maybe you can turn it from here. Maybe there's a better view. So I'm not actually filing any into that arch. I'm just filing at that free edge. And sorry guys, it's a little out of focus. There we go. It's gonna just help to taper that free edge a little bit. It's not gonna take down product in my arch. I don't wanna flatten out that arch, but I do wanna thin and taper that free edge just a little bit more, okay? So, whoops, sorry guys, I don't know if something just glitched out there for a second, but my feed stopped for a second. Sorry about that. Hopefully we're back. All right, let me come up here a little bit. Now I'm going to turn my client's hand around and I'm going to look at it from her view, okay? From this view, I'm really going to make sure that everything is nice and straight, everything is nice and even, that my shaping is right on, my sidewalls are right on. And then I'm going to look backwards down the barrel of the nail from here. And again, if there's any high spots or low spots, I'm going to file those and just really perfect everything from this view. And I always recommend looking from all your different angles because every angle is going to give you a different view. It's going to show you, you know, if there is a high spot or a low spot. Okay, so check from your sides, check from the left side, check from the right side, check from down the barrel, the free edge, check from your client's perspective this way. Okay, check from all of those different views. Elizabeth Garcia is asking, what camera am I using? You guys, I'm just using my iPhone. That's all I'm using today. Okay? So if you are somebody who is looking to, you know, do more posting, do more YouTube videos, you guys, iPhone or, you know, just regular, your cell phones, perfect opportunity. Okay? You don't need a whole lot of camera equipment or anything like that. Just a phone. All right? All right, so I just dusted off the nail and I'm going to cleanse this nail one more time with Swipe. Make sure to get all of that dust cleaned off of there. And I am seeing something that I always say, I'm glad that it happened. Not that I'm happy that it happened, but I'm glad that it happened so that I can show you what to do if it does happen. So if you guys take a really close look here, to see how right up by my cuticle area, I actually filed a little bit of that, that color off. I filed it nice and thin, which is what we want, but I went maybe just a hair too thin, okay? So I'm gonna show you how to touch that up. And again, just write a tiny little bit on the free edge. Now, normally I would just leave that free edge. I wouldn't even say anything to my client. She's not gonna notice, nobody's gonna notice, but I am gonna show you how to touch these things up because it happens. And I got you guys, I want you, whoops, I want you to know how to make these things right if they do happen in salon, okay? So we're gonna start with one more coat of our protein bond, just to make sure that everything adheres really, really well through that whole nail. I know you guys are wanting top coat at this point. Please be patient. I gotta make everything perfect for you guys. I gotta make sure that you know what to do. Okay, so I'm actually gonna come back. You know what, let me put my towels back up here. Give myself a nice space to work on. All right, actually we're just gonna go like that. Okay. So I'm going to take my little tile again. I'm going to put a little bit of our colors on that tile so that I can touch up these couple of spots here on my nail. So again, just a little bit of our Yellow Neon 101 and a little bit of our Pink Lemonade. And actually, no, I actually don't need the Pink Lemonade, but that's okay. We'll use that anyways, maybe. Okay, I'm gonna grab another brush here real quick. And, okay, so this is just a small liner brush. So just a small liner brush. You can use whatever kind of brush works for you. And yeah, maybe we'll just touch that up a little bit. Okay, so we've got a little bit of that yellow. I'm just gonna kind of fill that in right where I need it. Just kind of touching that color up a little bit. And kind of just feathering it out. And I'm gonna grab, just kind of using the edge of my wipe here, just to kind of almost blend that in, okay? There we go. And let me clean out my brush here. I'm gonna grab a little bit of that. Or you know what? I'm not gonna do the orange. I don't wanna make that too thick at the end, okay? I'm gonna cure this for just a quick 30 seconds. We'll get that into our light. Okay, and again, I'm just doing this because I had just a little bit that I filed off. So if you don't have to do this, don't worry about it. You don't need to. This is not a crucial step, but we're gonna come back in and touch up that little glitter spot real quick. And I'm also gonna grab my base and top coats here just to make sure. And somebody was asking, how often do we do these live classes? We try to do these Monday through Friday, and it's usually around the same time every day. So make sure that you hit that subscribe button so you always get the notifications when we go live, and you can join us every single time, okay? All right, so I'm gonna go back to that makeup brush, and we're just going to tap in a little bit more of that glitter, dust off any extra, so it's going to stick to wherever we put that that gel polish, okay? And then I'm going to go in with a coat of my manicure base. Now you can use base coat, you can use top coat, whatever you want to do. It's personal preference. I like the base because it's got a little bit more thickness to it, okay? And when I touch up these areas, I want to make sure that I'm getting that glitter down into the gel. I'm going to show you one more way to kind of touch up. So now I just kind of noticed just a tiny little space on the end. And I'm just going to take, again, just my little liner brush. I'm going to pick up just a tiny little bit of that glitter because it's not a very big space. I'm going to be able to really just kind of fill that space in with ease and not so much effort, okay? Let's pop that back into our light. We're gonna freeze that back into place for a quick 30 seconds, or even a quick 10 seconds would be fine. And then we will go ahead and seal this with our, what do I got today? Our ultimate finish, okay? But the reason that I did the base coat first was because I wanna make sure that I sealed that glitter in. If I just went in with one coat of my top coat, I might still end up feeling a little bit of that texture, okay? So 2 coats of whatever sealants you want to use. Again, I like to use the base coat and then my ultimate finish top coat. Let's see, what's the name of this glitter? Don't have them all yet. The glitters that I was using, you guys, are Sunset Beach and Lava. So those are the 2 glitters that we used today. Okay, now those of you that love to do that top coat chant, go ahead and put the top coat chant into the chat. So now we're gonna do our final coat of top coat. And again, I'm using the Ultimate Finish top coat. This is a nice, quick and easy top coat to use. It cures fully in 60 seconds, and it doesn't have any tacky surface that you're gonna have to wipe off or anything that you're going to cleanse, okay? So again, you guys, make sure if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and make sure that you're going to be able to join us next time. Oh my gosh, I love it, you guys. Now we're seeing all that top coat chant in the chat. So thank you guys all for that. I'm just going to flip around real quick before I show you the final look on our nail here. But I just wanted to take a second. As always, you guys, thank you so much for joining us here today. Again, make sure if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We want to be able to give you guys more free education just like today. So by you subscribing to our channel, that just helps to allow us to be able to do that for you guys. So again, thank you so much for being with us. If you have any questions, like I try to get to questions and things in the chat. We've got some great moderators that try to get to your questions in the chat. But if we missed anything, you're always welcome to call us, email us, text us. We have a texting community that you can text us your questions. You can email us your questions, anything. We want to hear from you. We want to make sure that you guys are getting all of the education and the information that you need and that you deserve. So make sure to let us know if there's anything we can do for you. And let me flip back around one more time so you can see the final look of our nail. So that is our summery sunset flower, whatever you want to call it, nail, that hopefully you guys, you'll be able to do this on your enhancement clients. You can do some of these techniques on your gel manicures. I hope you guys will give it a try. And you guys, as always, if you do try any of these designs, if you use any of our products, make sure to tag us. We want to see what you guys are doing. We want to see that you've done these nails. We want to see that you've used our inspiration. So make sure to tag Young Nails anytime you post with any of our products. We would love to see it. All right, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, the rest of the week. I'm not sure if I will see you. I think I'll see you again this week. If not, Greg will be back with you guys this week also. So make sure to join us again. Have a wonderful afternoon, everybody.